Today we are discussing about Agriculture India, lesson number 6, paper 2. Okay, paper 1, sorry. Agriculture production, see already before that we have learned what are the different types of seasons and what are the patterns, what are the Kharif, Rabi and Vijaya seasons, and what are the cultivation methods, subsistence farming, intensive farming, commercial farming, these are all we learned. In this class, we have to learn about the agriculture production depends on the natural factors. The first phase, 1950 to 65, irrigation and building dams, and second phase, how they went. Because when the Britishers' departure, once we got a freedom, in such time, what was the situation in India? Being an agricultural country, in India, we are very much millions of people died with the starvation, because during the Britishers' time also there are a lot of famines, and they forced only for the commercial cropping and all. So because of all these reasons, no irrigation facilities, because of all these reasons, what happened, our development became zero and agriculture became nil when the Britishers' departure's time. So such a time we have to take measures after Union of India, which started after getting independence. We started many phases to improve the irrigational facilities and agriculture production, because agriculture and most of the agriculture in India is depends on the rainfall and seasons. So that is also one of the reasons to get low outputs of India of agriculture products in India. So the agriculture production depends on natural factors. They one by one how they started agriculture and how they started agriculture, because it's an old economic activity in India. So how it is flourished one again and after independence, and what are the methods they have taken, and before that how it was, and after that how it was improved. And when the Britishers were just left, after that there was a situation came, how the situation was, the people or our government, our leaders were importing the food grains. Being an agriculture country and very good soils we had, everything we had, even though we imported food grains from other countries, because there was no food crops, only they strictly imposed commercial crops only. So such that it's a lack of shortage of food in India. And after that, these started some measures. The government has taken some policies. So what are the policies we see? Agriculture production depends on natural sources. Generally, agriculture depends on natural resources such as like water and sunshine for cultivation, and temperature and rainfall. These two are very important. So some crops are continuous, some crops are cultivated only within the seasons. When you go to the market, you see different crops will be there, different vegetables are there in seasonal wise. So in a different seasons we have when you go to Santar market, you can see number of vegetables and different types of vegetables will be seen time to time. That means in the different seasons, depends on the seasons, different crops are growing there, and different seasons you would notice these differences. There are also variations in the natural conditions between different regions in the country. Like that in India also we have different seasons, and in India depends on the soils, depends on the rainfall, temperature and all. With the irrigational facilities, there are different crops we can see, and different types of, for example, you take North India, their staple food is wheat, and here in South India their staple food is rice. Like that there are different structures of the agriculture productions are there. And besides this, land reforms such as Jamindari system and Land Ceiling Act, these are all made to the farmers to reduce the exploitation by the Jamindaris, by the rich people. And that is one of they made a lot of policy changes. We also done after 1950. So what are the policies changes and all we'll see now. The first phase is 1950 to 65. So at that time, this is the first phase. How to change the policy matters we'll see. The first phase this is in agriculture after independence. So what is this first phase? In the 1950 to 65, what they made is they heavily on irrigation and power projects. I told you there are 5-year plans, isn't it? 5-year plans made by Jawaharlal Nehru, the first Prime Minister of India. 5-year plans. What are these 5-year plans? Whatever the priority things have they given a most importance for the priority things. What are the priority? First, now food is important at that time. So they have given first priority to the agriculture. So how they made it this 5-year plan? Every 5 years one plan. So every 5 years one plan on one sector they targeted and completely fulfilling the needs, whatever the things have to be done. They done it like that 1950 to 65 to like that it was continued. Now it is a 14th 5-year plan is going on. But in the meantime there are some disturbances are also happened. But some disturbances are also there. But it was continued. Now it is running with the 14th 5-year plan. So here what they have done is they raise crop. First of all, we are depending on the imports, so that we don't want. Our leaders worried about that food grains, importing food grains. So first of all, we have to see the priority should be given to the agriculture. So what they have done, first they surveyed all the India and what are the irrigation facilities are made, where are the irrigation facilities are made, wherever we have to give, if they are good soils, we have to give HYV seed, high yielding variety of seeds. Okay, and constructing dams and reservoirs. So like that in between 19 to 65, so 50 to 65 they constructed some dams. What are the dams? Bhakra Nangal in Himachal Pradesh. Bhakra Nangal in Himachal Pradesh. Okay, Himachal Pradesh. And Nagarjuna Sagar in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. Nagarjuna Sagar in Telangana and Andhra Pradesh, AP. Okay, Hirakud Dam. Hirakud Dam in Odisha. Hirakud Dam in Odisha. Sriram Sagar, Gandhi Sagar in Madhya Pradesh. Gandhi Sagar in Madhya Pradesh. Gandhi Sagar in Madhya Pradesh. These are all they built. They constructed these dams. And even West Bengal, Damodar Valley in West Bengal, Damodar Valley in West Bengal, Damodar Valley Dam in the West Bengal. So these are all constructed, these is reservoirs and all they constructed, and the area under cultivation and irrigated land went up, the production increases. So with these reservoirs, with these irrigational facilities, there is a lot of production improved and there is a lot of cultivation improved and it was raised. During this phase, the government promoted the formation of different cooperative stores. For the particularly, it is focused on small farmers and medium-sized farmers only. If they get more focus and they gave irrigational facilities and cooperative societies. They formed cooperative societies and also for agriculture extension officers. They made 3 agriculture extension officers. Agriculture extension officers appointed or extension officers appointed and irrigational facilities and cooperative societies These are all formed particularly for medium and medium-sized and small farmers, and a variety of initiatives, especially for small farmers, were taken. And in a mandal level, from the low level they came. In the mandal level, block level, district level, like that they have given the cooperative societies help and bank facilities and irrigational facilities and agriculture extension officers. If they need, if they are not aware of that particular crop or particular thing, how to use chemical fertilizers and all. So they gave some awareness with this agriculture extension officers, and irrigational facilities and cooperative societies and banks. These are all formed and helped and cooperated for mainly for what is the intention to increase lot and lots of increase the production should be increased. The food production should be increased to avoid the food shortage. Despite the development this food shortage continues. This much developments they have made, but all of a sudden we can't get anything, isn't it? Even though the food shortage has continued for a few years, then during 1962 to 65, during 62 to 65, there was a war between 62 to 65 also, 1962 to 1965. There was a continuous two wars faced by India, and in this time also they cannot continue this 5-year plan. And at that time there was an annual plan, because in 1962 there was a war between India and China, and in 71 there was a Bangladesh war. Like that it was continued. So such times these whatever plans, 5-year plans are there, they were broken, and they started only annual plans. There were annual plans were started. That means 1 year only that particular plan was targeted and finished. Like that they made it. But still, despite of developments, despite of these developments, and for increase in the cultivation, even though the food shortage was continued. So again the government, they made these policies change, and what they have done in 1950 to 65, in the second phase started, 1960 to 1990, 1960 to 1990, there was it was a different policy started by government, that is Green Revolution. What is this? The Green Revolution. So what is meant by Green Revolution? The Green Revolution is, they continuously, the situation depending on the countries for food requirements. Why they started? Because the for food requirements we are importing food grains from the other countries. That is much worried by our leaders, nation leaders and the government. Then they started this Green Revolution. In this Green Revolution second phase, the government introduced many kind of HYV seeds, and government is giving a lot of importance to the people, to the farmers, particularly for giving chemical fertilizers, pesticides and irrigational facilities. What it is giving? HYV seed, high yielding varieties of food, and chemical fertilizers, pesticides and irrigational facilities, more irrigational facilities and more dams, and generation of electricity, irrigation facilities, and mainly electricity, generation of power, generation of electricity. These are all giving again and bulk quantity to the farmers. Because of that, they can do more and more production. Then actually, in fact, in second phase there was a lot of production. There was a bumper production in those years, and we became self-sufficient in India. That means domestic service. The domestic purpose means for within India we have a lot of food grains, and even at that time, end of the second phase of the Green Revolution, even we are able to import to the other countries food grains from the zero level to once upon a time we were importing food grains to from other countries. Now we are able to export by second phase of Green Revolution, 1990. By 1990, we are able to export the food grains to other countries. In such a situation we got. But even some dry land agriculture also made. What is dry land agriculture? Generally, in this agriculture, not every there is a drought situation. In those areas, there is a drought situation will be there. So very less rainfall and no irrigational facilities for years together. There was no irrigational facilities for that land. So that land is called dry land. Even Fortunately, in that dry lands also there are number of crops will be growing, and what are they? That is cotton, okay, soya beans and jowar. Okay, jowar, such things will be in dry land agriculture also there. But even in Telangana areas we have jowar and many more. Soya bean, red gram and Bengal gram, red gram and Bengal gram. Red gram and Bengal gram. So these also they are doing cultivating in the dry land agriculture, because in the 40% of the total cultivable land there is a 55%, maximum 55% of percent land is with the dry land agriculture. So after this they are giving some agriculture products and some irrigation facilities are giving, and our target is even 100% we have to do even in the dry land agriculture also. Like that it was continued, and but what happened? We were succeeded in this. We are concluding it with we are succeeding in this. But the thing is here, the total after the green revolution, what were the effects? What were the effects after the green revolution? Why? Because in one piece of land we used more and more, maximum utilization we have taken from that particular lands. So now there will be more side effects will be there. So what are the side effects? So what are the effects of the green revolution? How we extract water from the deep wells, and how we used extracted soils and all. With that, what was the situation after green revolution? That we'll see in the next class, children. I hope everyone understood. Thank you.